Hello and welcome to On the Couch with Steve, a podcast where we help you navigate the often complex world of buying and selling real estate here in Ipswich. I'm Steve Athanades, I'm the owner of NG Real Estate. I'm joined today by a great friend of the podcast, Matthew Taylor Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, yes.
How are you?
I wouldn't say good friend. I twisted your arm and made you do the podcast, yeah?
That's right. When I say friend, I mean I pay you a lot of money
to make this happen.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
So obviously, welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
Now, obviously, today we're discussing the market wrap for August 2024.
Yes.
And obviously, you wanted to ask me some questions about what happened with the real estate market here in Ipswich.
Yeah, so I guess, obviously, first question, how did your office fare? What did you see? And what kind of happened? What was the result for last month?
Yep, great question. Now, before I tell you the answer, I've got to thank our amazing clients, because without our clients, this just would not be possible. And the results that we are achieving, honestly, sometimes they even shock me with how well supported we are by our amazing Ipswich community.
Yes.
So to everyone out there, all of our loyal customers, thank you so much for your patronage. I know we've listed and sold a huge amount of properties. We've got some amazing results for you, our clients, and that there's nothing that would make me happier.
Yes.
The other people that I need to quickly thank
Yes.
is our staff.
100%.
Okay, again, without the staff, this wouldn't be possible. So to all of our amazing award-winning sales team, congratulations to you. You have absolutely murdered it again in August. To our administration staff who've got to process all of the listings and the contracts. Again, thank you to you. Without your support, this wouldn't be possible. To all of our property management managers, our business development manager, Cassandra Jeffs, and obviously all of our amazing landlords, a big thank you to you as well. So without further ado, what did we do in August? I'm going to bring it up because it's very important. I don't want to get it wrong.
Yes.
So we, in terms of listings, we always say here on the podcast that we list and sell at least 2 properties a day. In August, we listed 68 amazing Ipswich homes in 31 days, so just over 2 a day.
Yep.
And believe it or not, we sold 74 Ipswich properties.
Wow.
So huge congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
To all of those owners. Now, mate, that equates to $56 million worth of Ipswich real estate that we transacted in the month of August.
That's crazy.
So huge result. So a big, once again, thank you to all of the people involved. You know who you are. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah, that just goes to show, we've talked about a couple of times on the podcast where everyone's saying, oh, it's going to slow and the market's slowing, but we're just not seeing that, are we? Like, it just continues to boom and grow.
Correct. And the sentiment in the market is still so strong.
Yep.
People believe in this market. They see continued capital growth in this market. So not only is it a great place to live if you're raising a family here in Ipswich, obviously your kids got to go to school and there's employment here, but for investors are seeing Ipswich as a destination, and it's a destination that ensures strong capital growth for your investment. We've talked repeatedly about how the markets continue to grow over each and every quarter.
Yep.
Basically, we're rising at 3% a quarter.
Yes.
So, anyone who bought a property a year ago, it's at least 12% more expensive, and some of properties have even outperformed that. We've seen properties that have sold 18 months ago that have resold, and people have made 20, even sometimes 25% on what they paid 18 months earlier.
Yeah.
So massive return on investment.
And as I think Emil said on the podcast, it's like the safest way you can kind of bet with your money as to what you're going to do and best return. So
correct. And I guess what Emil was saying in that 50th episode of the podcast is that it is safe because it's just not as tumultuous or volatile as the share market.
Yes.
And we're not here to bag any particular style of investment, but share market over the course of time, and any investment is a long-term investment, should be calculated over 7 to 10 years. But for investors, sometimes, the peaks are great.
Yes.
But the troughs are scary. And in the event that you get a margin call, it's something that's beyond your control. So the housing industry has just proven to be almost safe as a bank.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so we talked about the result and where we were at, but was there any particular pockets that we saw in Ipswich that did really well, where we saw an influx of listings, sales, any of that sort of information you can share?
Yeah, look, top end of the market continues to remain strong. Once upon a time, we never sold houses over $1 million here in Ipswich, and this is only going back probably even 2.5, 3 years. Very rare to sell something over $1 million. These days, we continue to average anywhere between 6 and 10 properties a month that sell over $1 million, and obviously some of them even now starting to move to the high ones and even the early twos. So some of the prices that are being achieved are incredibly high. So acreage tends still to be very, very strong. Our core suburbs, the likes of, your Mantos, Flinders View, Brassel, Wood End, Saddlers Crossing, Cold Falls, those sorts of areas where some of our biggest and our best homes are, they continue to perform really strongly. The bottom end of the market, now this will seem strange, but the bottom end of the market, really hard to get anything under 500 grand. So you tend to be looking at units, townhouses, and even some of those are now starting to move towards the high fours. So, houses, generally speaking, if you can buy a house under 500 grand, probably needs substantial amount of work.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not probably instantly livable.
The Taj Mahal, it is not.
Correct.
No, definitely not. Even the bottom end of the property market is still incredibly strong, because what we find is if you get anything that's in the lower price points, it just gets swarms of people. So people who want to, move into it as a first home, you get a cast of thousands in terms of investors, because the rents are still generally quite high, so the rate of return is quite good. So here in our market, very common to be getting 5% plus returns.
Yeah, right.
Which other markets generally don't see.
Yes. All right. And I guess we talked on the previous podcast, we talked about auctions, and obviously we've seen an influx of that and increasing.
Yes.
And are we still continuing to see that? I mean, I see it on socials constantly, but are we still seeing that side of things grow? Is it becoming more common? Is that what we're kind of seeing the forecast look like for real estate moving forward, as in that'll be the primary way to sell? I'm not saying it's going to be the primary way, but it's becoming more prevalent. So more and more agents, including our company, are adopting auction as a means of sale. Obviously, auction is the oldest method of sale, but it's the truest form of the value of your property at any given time in the marketplace, because the market determines the value of your property. Now, the thing with an auction is, obviously, we all hope that, everyone goes crazy and they pay way above a reserve and, we get to put up big headlines that we sold at $100,000, $150,000 over reserve. Is that the reality for every property that we sell at auction? No. Definitely not. That is the exception. It is definitely not the rule. However, auction will become more prevalent as we start to see market conditions change. What's market conditions changing? We'll talk about that in our next podcast. You'll have to stay tuned. All right. And the last question I have for you, obviously we've talked very heavily about buying and selling, but what about the rental market? What are we seeing in there? Have we had more property listings in the sense of for rent? What are we seeing there? Okay, so in terms of properties listed, we listed 15 properties this month, and obviously they're new managements that we've brought to market. In terms of properties that have been rented out, about the same number. So what we're doing is we're tending to rejuvenate, and whatever we rent out, we're bringing on new managements. So there's always a supply of available rental stock for our tenants out there. So obviously very important that we are resupplying. I saw an article just recently, I think it was yesterday, where in Melbourne, in Victoria, investors
are selling in their droves. They've never seen anything like it. Something like 11,000 investment homes have been sold this year, where investors, for whatever reason, and in Victoria they're saying it's got a lot to do with land tax, which we don't have in Queensland. Again, to you investors out there, why Queensland is so popular, why you should invest in Ipswich, and you should buy through NG Real Estate. All right? But we don't have land tax. But in Victoria, they do, and investors are deserting that market, which is a bit sad for tenants in Victoria.
Yes.
Because it potentially will lead to increased pricing in terms of rentals if there's less available.
Yep.
But investors losing sentiment for investment in Victoria.
Yeah, right.
Not in Queensland.
And are we seeing then, if that's the case, do you think we'll see a flow over of those investors, like you're suggesting to contact NGU, but do you think we'll see more of that move up here to the sunny state and purchase in areas like Ipswich? I mean, we've got massive growth in this and predicted for the next 10 years and beyond. So it would be in their best interest to invest in this space, yeah?
Well, again, we're going to talk about this really heavily in our next podcast, the next episode, of what the market conditions are, which are, I guess, inducing people to want to buy and invest here in Ipswich and in Queensland in general. But the short answer is yes, I do think you will see more investors coming to Ipswich, to Queensland, because of the conditions that exist, because of the potential capital growth. Obviously, the infrastructure that's being built here. Obviously, we've got the 2032 Olympics. So effectively, the best indicator of future capital growth is current capital expenditure. Now, obviously, the Queensland government has to inject billions of dollars into the economy in order to build the infrastructure associated with the Olympic Games.
Yes.
That infrastructure will serve the people of Queensland for the next 30 or 50 years after that.
Correct.
So whatever they spend today will obviously benefit people who live here.
Yes.
So I think it's a win-win, and I guess that's why so many people were excited about the prospect of the Olympic Games being held here in Queensland.
Yeah, 100%. That's all I have. I don't have any more questions to grill you over.
Beautiful. Well, overall, the overall health of the Ipswich real estate market is extremely strong. We in our podcast for July, we had our biggest ever month. In July, we sold over $60 million worth. We're just pared back a little bit, 10%. We're at $54 million in August. To give you a comparison, August last year, we sold probably around 38 million. So we are up in the vicinity of basically 20% on what we did in August last year. So the market is extremely strong. So what that means, if you've been waiting, thinking prices are going to go down and you're a buyer, buy today. If you're an investor and you're thinking prices are going to go down, and if you hang on, wrong. You need to buy when? You need to buy today.
Correct.
Okay, prices are continuing to rise. So everything here in Ipswich Real Estate is extremely rosy. The team at NG Real Estate Ipswich stand ready to serve you at any time, and we look forward to meeting you at one of our open homes, or give us a call for any of our private inspections on any of our amazing homes. Mate, that's what we've got, isn't it, really?
It is.
Mate, once again, big thank you to Matthew Taylor-Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing. Obviously, we hope you've enjoyed the content today and an update on what's happened in the Ipswich real estate market. We really value your feedback, so if you've got anything you'd like to say, or any comments you'd like to make, or any questions like to ask, please subscribe to the link below. We'd love to hear from you. Once again, I'm Steve Athanades. I'm the owner of NG Real Estate Ipswich, and we look forward to seeing you at the next episode of On the Couch with Steve.